Olympic figure skating on CBS. Browning, Petrenko, Eldridge, and Bowman share a moment and rock the world.
This is CBS.
I mean, what was I supposed to say? Can I test drive the red one?
If you've never talked to a Mercedes dealer, you've probably got a lot of questions.
And anyway, I didn't have time to get over there.
So I said, I'll bring it over, the red 190, right to your office.
Yeah, well,
But the question that's the hardest to ask
I mean,
is often the easiest to answer.
should I afford it?
Bottom line, the new 190 is $29,850.
That's it? This red one?
Yep. And answering your questions, that's free.
The sexy women sportscasters from Italy on Entertainment Tonight.
From the network of the 1992 Olympic Winter Games, next, CBS Sports presents a CBS Sports Special.
The sound and the sight racing fans have been waiting for since the 1991 season ended last November. Coming up, the Busch Clash, a 50-mile dash for $290,000 in prize money involving 15 men, the fastest of the fast, whose sheer talent for speed won them pole positions last year and the right to race here today. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Economaki. I'm the greensward here at Florida's famous Daytona International Speedway. You know, in these economic hard times in a sport where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing, I am awed by the pressures drivers are under. Pressures from the car makers, pressures from the team owners, pressures from the sponsors and the fans. How this unique race will unfold, let's go across pit road now to my CBS broadcast colleague, Mike Joy.
Chris, this all-star race has a Super Bowl-type format. These drivers drew for starting positions. They'll take off from the green flag and run 10 green flag laps. Then, the leader gets $25,000 and we take a halftime break. The cars will come here to pit road. Any service that could normally be performed during a Winston Cup race will be undertaken, except no fuel may be added. Then, they invert the running order. The last shall be first, and they'll run 10 more green flag laps. The man who takes the checkered flag is the winner, gets an additional $35,000. When we come back, Ken Squire, Neil Bonnet, and Ned Jarrett will take you through the starting field and a look at this very unique race. We'll be right back.
The 1992 Busch Clash is sponsored by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light, the official beers of NASCAR. Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
How to live like a mountain man. A true mountain man lives a solitary life, living for nothing more than an honest day's work and the rugged companionship of his fellow mountain men. It's a full-time job, but it does have its rewards, like smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains. Because once a mountain man has his mountains, what more could he possibly want?
Ford designed a special truck for night people. So, of course, sports fans wanted one too. Now, Ford introduces its new flare side for yet another side. Don't these people ever rest?
The best never rest.
With a full-size night, sport, and bold new flare side, Ford takes all kinds in style. More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
Today, performance cars come in a variety of designs and sizes. So do Goodyear Eagles, the world's most successful line of performance tires. There are all-season Goodyear Eagles. There are new ultra-performance Goodyear Eagles. There are Goodyear Eagles for the classic and for the contemporary. So give your car Goodyear Eagles. Then you'll know why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
He's back. This time we get him. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Here at Daytona Beach, temperatures edging toward the 60s on a sunny and beautiful day to go racing. Hello everyone, I'm Ken Squire, and alongside is the 2-time winner of this event, Neil Bonnet, the 2-time Winston Cup champion. That's the guy that you know pretty well here on CBS. And I hope, Ned, that we have a great race today as we get set for 15 cars to compete over the distance. The field is rolling out right now. And as we take a look into turn number 1, everybody is away and getting set for business. Let's take a look at the starting order for today's race. In row number 1 is Brett Bodine with the Kenny Bernstein car, and Jeff Bodine in new colors this year for Bud Moore. Going to row number 2, another set of Fords, and Mark Martin with new livery on his car, and Bill Elliott out for the first time in the Junior Johnson car. For row number 3, Ricky Rudd makes his 8th start, and 3 times he's been star-crossed in this event. Making his first appearance, Michael Waltrip up there in the number 30. Going back to row 4, and here you have Terry Labonte, the 1985 champion of this race, and Harry Gant making his first appearance since 1988. In row 5, Alan Kowicki, car number 7 of Ford, is there, and Sterling Marlin is another rookie to this race, driving that second Junior Johnson car. For row 6 today, here's another freshman, Chad Little out of Spokane, Washington, and Kyle Petty, who's one to really watch in this race. Another row back, and you have Rusty Wallace and Ernie Irvin, who's been the fastest Chevy thus far in the week. And out back, Davey Allison ready to rumble. He's had a second, and a third in this event. The last time he's appeared here, he was not here a year ago when Ernie Irvin came home in second place with this new format. And there's the track analysis.
Well, it's 2.5 miles in length. It's a tri-oval, Ken. Of course, the degree of the banking in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is 31 degrees, and in this tri-oval is 18 degrees.
Field coming around. They'll take a lap down on pit road. Taking a look at the type of cars. We have 8 Fords out here in this show, 3 Chevys, 3 Pontiacs, and 1 Oldsmobile to make up the field of 15, which is the second biggest field in the 14-year history of the event. Let's go to pit road with Chris Economaki.
Cars in the race, Ken. Rusty Wallace is a new car, Alan Kowicki, Bill Elliott, Brett Bodine, Davey Allison, and Kyle Petty. All others are revamped 91s. Some drivers built new cars specifically for this race.
A lot of cars like that number 11. That was the intended car for the 500. And then they liked the old cars so much better. It's one they really pulled out of the boneyard is the one they're going to run in the 500, but Bill Elliott feels more comfortable in it, and the new car gets to run this special sprint today, 2 10-lap segments. There is Bill Elliott, the second time in his career in something other than a car number 9. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Buddy Baker won the first Clash, led the most laps of any winner, and then came back and lost it on the last lap to Neil Bonnet. You've won it, you've lost it. What do you do here?
Well, there's really not any strategy. You know, there's a limited amount of cars in this race, a very action-packed race. Last place cars got just as good a chance as the guy starting on the pole. The main thing is just when you get a shot, go after it.
Okay, Buddy Baker.
Taking green this time by. Take a look at the in-car cameras here. There you are with Bill Elliott up there in that second row for his start. Car number 11 settling down for a go. Here you are with Ernie Irvin, well out back, 14th starting position. He'll be flying in these first laps. And from Davey Allison, shotgun on the field. The Fords have had 1.5 miles on almost everybody up till now. Do you think they'll hold anything back, not create any political ripples here, Neil, as we get ready for next week's 500?
Ken, I don't think they can afford to hold anything back. There's too many good Fords. They got to race each other real hard.
And I think they will just go flat out. They need to see how these cars are going to handle in traffic, and this is the first time that they have had that opportunity. Evidently, they're not getting the green flag this time by. We've one more time.
The indication is take one. They're taking one on the field before they turn them loose.
This is the first test that they have had in traffic, running close to other cars to see how the cars are handling. They have gone through a tremendous change in the inspection procedure, and it has caused some teams to have to alter their cars a little bit to get more back in line, and that will affect the handling qualities of the car.
Gary Nelson has been in charge of going that inspection up to speed here, and it was rigorous even this morning. All day Thursday we saw them having their problems getting through inspection. A lot of new fuel cells in these cars. Mike Joy is down there with Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell will be with us throughout the Clash, Ken. In '87, you came from 7th to lead the first lap of this race, and nobody's ever started further back and done that. What do you think?
Well, the cars in the back, actually, with these restrictor plates, have a pretty good chance. What you're going to see happen is those front cars, when they take off, they're going to not be able, they're not going to have the advantage of anybody in front of them. They're going to bog down just a little bit. The guys from the back of the pack, the Allisons and the Wallaces, those guys are going to have a real suck going down that back straightaway, and the only thing we're going to have to watch as fans and viewers is that third turn.
Let's look at it unfold.
Remember, not too long ago, right here on that very first lap, they had trouble coming down across the line. 3 cars got tangled up out here. You remember that?
Ken, one thing that contributes to that, in most tracks on a restart, on the start of the race, the thing is to be careful. This track, you've got to go. There's no time to be careful. The guys usually run harder the first couple of laps than any time during the race.
That was one of those incidents when Ricky Rudd got tangled up back in '87 with Terry Labonte. I think Earnhardt had a piece of that one too. Here we are coming to the line. Earnhardt, who won this race last year, came from 6th on the first lap to lead in the first 10-lap segment, and then from dead last in the second segment, and did it in 2 laps.
But he's not in it this year. Didn't win a pole in 1991.
Pace car is in. Field is down. 14th annual Busch Clash, first segment for a $25,000 to win prize, $116,000 at stake, underway.
The Bodine brothers raced down towards the start, turn 1, but Brett Bodine outdragged his brother Brett. Gets into the turn first.
And remember, that's an Ernie Elliott engine that is carrying Brett Bodine to a 3-car length advantage as they come out of turn 2.
Kenny Bernstein, the owner of this green car, has been Buicks for many years. They switched to Ford for 1992.
Back straightaway, dropping to the inside. The number 15, the Bud Moore car, now with Jeff Bodine at the controls. That number 30, they report, had a sticky throttle for a moment. Meanwhile, out of the back, look at Elliott has dropped back a little, and here comes 30 up on the outside. That's Michael Waltrip in the yellow car, making a move for 3rd spot. 1 lap down. Labonte driving a Chevrolet, the number 94, which was an Oldsmobile a year ago, and everybody in there tight together.
Michael Waltrip's made a good move. Started in 6th place. Up on the outside, he liked what he was seeing up there, picked up some draft, and moved all the way up to 3rd now.
Well, these first few laps are really going to be critical, positioning yourself. Michael got a good job like Ned's talking about. The guys on the inside are really going to pay a price. This big scramble right here is what's going to be key, getting in position.
Okay, you saw him move. Brett Bodine moved to the inside of the track, trying to break the draft of any cars behind him. Of course, his brother Jeff knew exactly what he was doing. He followed him, so did Michael Waltrip.
And Sterling Marlin, number 22, from 10th up to 4th. The blue and white Thunderbird out of Junior Johnson Stables, making a good move as it comes around on this lap. Back to the stripe. Sterling Marlin looking strong.
Hey, look at Michael Waltrip coming up on the outside of Jeff Bodine, and he made the pass.
Sterling Marlin over to the inside, and Sterling and Mike Waltrip side by side.
Absolutely on the floorboard, and here to 2nd place comes Sterling Marlin, number 22.
Now they can't afford to run side by side too long. Brett Bodine will be gone. When 2 cars run side by side, they're breaking a big passel of air there, and the front car will be able to pull away. But neither of those drivers wants to back off.
And as they do, the number 26 is drawing away. I'll tell you what, they're coming back on him even here. That's incredible as they come out of 4.
Well, it really is with them running side by side that they're able to stay that close. But they also have cars behind them running side by side. In fact, everything behind Brett Bodine is 2 abreast.
And now 3.
Yeah.
From Ernie Irvin's car as he gets underneath Alan Kowicki.
And Ricky Rudd in the car number 5, Chevrolet.
Side by side for the lead. Brett Bodine is there. Moving up alongside bottom of the racetrack, number 22.
Sterling Marlin, car number 22. You see Jeff Bodine just break out from that pack, pulled on the inside of Terry Labonte in car number 94, trying to take over 3rd place, but Labonte now has picked up the draft of the green car of Brett Bodine. They are flat going at it, Neil.
I tell you, this is a pleasant surprise. The Clash in the past few years has been single file racing. These guys have been side by side since the race started.
Yeah, by now, a year ago, Earnhardt had just driven off. Nobody's driving off. 4, 5 wide.
Wow, you can't believe how Ernie Irvan was down there trying to take over third, and then they went 2 abreast on the outside of him. Now he drops back to 7th.
First to last, 15 cars, 0.8 of a second apart from Ernie Irvan's bumper camera. Back there. Here you see the 11 up on the outside, Kulwicki's car. Back for the lead. Here comes Sterling Marlin, bottom of the racetrack, and with him is coming Terry Labonte in the Billy Hagan car, number 94.
I'll tell you, he's making an impressive run. First time that he's run Chevrolet. They've been running Oldsmobiles in the past. They were down there and tested. We're not really pleased with their test. Terry Labonte, an expert at drafting.
I think one of the big things that's happening is Ford is not just driving away with the race, which we were concerned with. It's close. All the GM cars are still able to hang on.
And the Chevy that's making the move is the 94. Labonte on the bottom at 190 miles an hour, diving down into turn number 1.
Here we are in Davey Allison's car. He has nowhere to go on the back bumper of the Ernie Irvan car, number 4. There's Ricky Rudd in the car number 5 up on the outside.
Chris Economaki.
On the headshot, you can see the drivers waving their hands. They're signaling to one another, trying to get somebody to help them. The term working together isn't really effective. When they work together, it's to help themselves, not the other guy. But now is when this play comes into a position of importance. They've got to help one another.
Right now, Sterling Marlin doesn't want to help anybody. He's drawing away. He's come to the outside. He has Bodine behind him. That's the help that he might get to stay there. But you know that Bodine will make another run on him. Look at this move in the main straightaway.
Davey Allison way down on the inside. Picks off Ernie Irvan.
Davey Allison moving beneath Ricky Rudd.
Not only moving beneath big Ricky Rudd, he was also beneath the white line going in the corner.
Mike Joy.
Darrell and I are watching that. Davey started last, and Darrell, to pass anybody, he's had to go right to the apron to do it.
Mike, this is an incredible race. I'm loving every minute of it. Let's get back to the race. Let's watch this stuff.
What strategy? Do you want to win this first half and start last?
Hey, these guys want to win anything. They want to win if there's a basket of apples out there to go for.
For the moment, that basket of apples belongs to Sterling Marlin out of Columbia, Tennessee. The second place man is Brett Bodine. Then it's a scramble. Michael Waltrip is there, riding in 4th. Terry Labonte, and Texas Terry is looking tough in that Chevy today. Meanwhile, Ernie Irvan, who started back in 14th, he's drawn up to 5th, and still looking for a place to ride is the number 28. There is Davey Allison, that Ford, who started dead last in 15th as time runs out, shooting down to the inside. He's underneath number 4. He gets Irvan, last year's Daytona champion. He comes after Ricky Rudd. What a battle as Davey Allison scoots right down to the bottom of the racetrack and makes it stick there.
Well, some people were wondering if the Fords would handle in the traffic. Davey Allison's car looked very smooth there, Neil.
It sure did, Ned. And earlier, that when Bodine was waving, it looked like he might have been a little bit loose getting in the corner. So some guys are better than the others.
Running out back right now is the Rusty Wallace car number 2. Here's the fight up in front.
Averaged 185.9 miles an hour in the first 5 laps, and that counted getting up to speed on the first lap.
Coming to 4th spot, number 28, Davey Allison. Time running out. You're riding with Davey Allison down the backstretch of the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway. Last lap at 197 miles an hour, and he's overtaking.
And look at how directly he ran behind Michael Waltrip going down the backstretch to pick up the draft, and you can see how he was able to move right in on him now coming off of turn 4.
On this deal here, he'll be able to pass some cars low. He might have to move to the outside of the tri-oval to make a pass through the corner on the straight part of the track here.
What a preview for the Daytona 500 next Sunday here on CBS. Live flag-to-flag coverage. 4 cars in a bundle up in front. Look at Michael Waltrip, hang it right in there in that Billy Engel prepared car number 30. Here's Allison, here comes Waltrip to the inside.
He gets the help of Davey Allison. Maybe he motioned to him, said, pull on with me and we'll blow off Brett Bodine, and they just did it. Waltrip moves into 2nd, Davey Allison now moving into 3rd.
So on the board, it's Ford, and Pontiac.
But when they did that, Ken, Sterling Marlin was able to open up on a 5 or 6 car length lead. But I'll bet Michael Waltrip and Davey Allison hooking up together will run him down the length of the lap.
Ford, Pontiac, and Ford coming to the line. Caution flag is out.
Perhaps debris on the track.
Non-counting laps. And that could be the end of that first segment. That was the halfway.
Okay.
Halfway. declared. They threw out the yellow for the halfway distance. And as they came to the line, Sterling Marlin.
That was so exciting. We didn't want that half to come, did we?
I kind of lost place where we're at. I was kind of sitting in the seat with them.
Gee, what a remarkable first segment of this event. And what a showing by Michael Waldrop in that yellow number 30 Pontiac car. Ned Jarrett, your thoughts about that run by that Pontiac? That was a car that was somewhat discounted until right now.
Well, towards the end of last year, that car became very fast. And it's not really that surprising for the insiders in racing to see that car come up through there.
Well, we'll be back with more at halftime here at Daytona in the 14th annual Busch Clash as Sterling Marlin is looking good after round one.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Let's see. A mountain man must be fearless, sure-footed, willing to answer the call of the wild. But most of all, a mountain man should be thirsty for a smooth Busch beer or an easy drinking Busch Light. So, head for the mountains and see if you have what it takes to be a real mountain man.
If I want to keep playing baseball, I'm going to have to keep working. There's no off season anymore. Every day it's just me and a pile of iron. Or a bike I ride forever. And when I get sore, I take Advil. It's strong, it works, and I know it helps. And Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin. To last as long as I have, you got to stick with what works. That's why I use Advil.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
I have Denorex on this side. As soon as I put Denorex on my hair, I felt like the itch was going away. The tingle feels like it's taking away the dandruff.
Denorex with conditioners, the dandruff shampoo you can feel working.
I have no dandruff, and I have no itch.
He's back. This time we get him. STB gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
My stepfather and I used to have this argument. I always say dancers worked harder. He said football players. It's as physical as you can get. You use everything. You don't stop. You don't sit. You don't get your breaks. You're on your feet. So you work hard, you sweat. New Lady Power. It works. I mean, I've tried a lot of deodorants because I'm a dancer. And this one really, really worked. You can dance and then still hug your friends and be okay.
New Lady Power from Fabergé. It won't let you down.
Next, #1 ranked Duke battles Shaquille O'Neal and LSU. Tomorrow, Iowa faces the power of Indiana. This weekend on CBS.
It is halftime here at the Busch Clash, and each of these teams have been in and performed a bit of surgery. Every car took on 4 fresh tires. They're not allowed to add fuel. And many of the cars that Ed and Neil were talking about being a little bit loose out on the racetrack took the spoiler angle and bumped it up a bit. The NASCAR officials were right there with their gauges, their protractors, to make sure that none of the cars exceeded the minimum spoiler angle for more straightaway speed. We'll report back a bit on specific adjustments down here. Ken?
Well, let's take a look at that finish order on the first 10 laps. The $25,000 prize going to a Sterling Marlin, with the second spot across the line belonging to Michael Waldrop, and finishing third was Davey Allison, with Brett Bodine, who started on the pole, winding up fourth, and coming from 14th to finish in fifth was Ernie Irvin, while Terry Lamonti, who made a good stout run midway, finished in sixth. And then came Ricky Rudd in seventh, Kyle Petty in eighth across the line as we got down to the end of that one. That was some thunder. Alan Kowicki wound up ninth, and in 10th, backing up a bit there from the outside of row 4, was the car number 11, driven by Bill Elliott. Here's Chris Economac.
Well, we know $290,000 up in prize money. That brief pit stop at $225 a tire. All 15 cars changed 4 tires. Almost $15,000 worth of tires were put on those cars for this last 10-lap dash.
That's a number to conjecture for a moment. Wow.
Well, it
expensive
is
stuff out here, folks.
Well, it really is, but when one changes tires, they have to, everybody else has to put them on, because new tires will simply run faster. The cool, fresh tires will run faster. So let's go back to pit road.
Jeff Bodine made an early stop for a spoiler adjustment. He's just come in again so he doesn't lose a lap on the racetrack, and they put 4 brand new tires on that car. His brother Brett Bodine, who dropped a bit back from the point, made a spoiler adjustment. We'll give you more changes in a moment.
When we return, on the pole will be Rusty Wallace, and Harry Gant will be alongside. And the complete final results again on this first 10-lap segment. As we leave you for a moment, there you see the pole and outside pole for the second 10 laps. The cars that came in dead on the bottom of that first 10-lap shootout. And there is that finish with Sterling Marlin first, Michael Waltrip second, Davey Allison third, Brett coming to fourth, Ernie Irvan finishing in the fifth position. Looking further back, you see Bill Elliott's car, which had started in fourth, wound up in 10th.
Maybe sandbagging a little, so he'd have get a better starting position here on the second half.
Not according to Neil. And there you see the finish of it. And so Rusty Wallace goes to the pole. Harry Gant outside for the second and the telling Busch Clash.
There aren't any fax machines or PCs to help you at this job. And your career path is largely determined by the mood of your horse. So why would anyone choose to work up here in the mountains? Maybe it's the fringe benefits.
He's back.
This time we get him.
STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose. Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds.
Ford trucks, the best never rest.
Yeah, sure, Ranger's the best-selling compact pickup, but how did it get there? Was it toughness? It is the best-built American compact pickup. How about technology? Push-button four-wheel drive, 4-liter power. Ranger offers both, plus style and comfort. You know what? It's more than a sales leader. It's a value leader.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
All of these championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Bonnie Blair, Christopher Bowman, Christy Yamaguchi, Dan Jansen, Duncan Kennedy, Donna Weinbrecht. America's medal hopes are as strong as ever. The Olympic Winter Games on CBS.
Starting lineup on the second 10-lap portion, and the one that will count. Extra money here, and your name goes in the record book as the winner of the Clash. Here's how they line up. It's Rusty Wallace, former Winston Cup champion, on the pole. Harry Gant, Mr. September, alongside. In row number 2, Jeff Bodine is there, and Mark Martin going to row 3. There you have Chad Little, 66, the Cale Yarborough car, and Bill Elliott. In row 4 is Alan Kowicki and the Felix Sabetas car of Kyle Petty alongside. In row 5, it's Ricky Rudd and Terry Labonte's number 94. For row 6, Ernie Irvan and Brett Bodine. Row 7, Bobby Allison, who made that, or rather Davey Allison, who made that tremendous run toward the end of this race, and Michael Waltrip. And in row 8, the winner of that first segment, Sterling Marlin, getting ready to go. The Airship Shamu bringing us today's aerial shots of the Busch Clash. Piloting Airship Shamu today, Peter Buckley, and assisting Bill Stouffer. Pace car is in, 10 laps. $174,000 is the up the ante here. $35,000 to win. The championship in the Busch Clash decided in this segment.
How many were sandbagging in that first one to get a good starting position in this second one? Well, time will tell.
Wallace sprints out. Jeff Bodine going right with him, and they lock up in a two-car draft by turn 2, try to draw away. And look down to the bottom of the track as Ricky Rudd sprints toward the front in car number 5.
Harry Gant just caught in the middle there. They were going by on the inside and the outside. He had no one to draft, and he's going from the front to the rear.
Inside with Davey Allison's cars. He rockets up through traffic on the bottom. Back with the leaders again, as you see Wallace deployed in first as they come around that second spot. Coming to the line is, for the moment, Bodine. Jeff Bodine is there, and right behind him, Mark Martin. Then Kowicki on the inside in fourth. And on the outside is Bill Elliott. The number 11 car, Elliott taking that high line.
And look at Michael Waltrip in the yellow car and Davey Allison both just trying to find some running room. Davey was able to come from the rear to third in the last race. He's just looking for a place to go. That Ford handling good for him.
I tell you, this back straightaway is an ideal place. They can get spread out real wide right here and make some moves on this back straightaway.
It's from Ernie Irvin's bumper you're watching behind. That's Terry Labonte's car we're seeing there. Michael Waltrip down on the inside.
Here we come back out of turn number 4. Looks like we're going to have quite a year, gentlemen, as they come back to the line. If this is any indication, Wallace stays first, Bodine second, Martin hanging in third.
Ken,
Look
this
at
is
Kyle.
About a third of the field that you see in the Daytona 500. If you see this kind of racing with just a third of the field, imagine what we'll see next Sunday.
Kyle Petty in 5th spot, goes down on the inside. Here he is trying to make a move as they go down the back straightaway. Here's Chris Economac.
I see the talented hand of Roger Penske in the second half. He was in the pits this morning. He's one of the owners of Rusty Wallace's car, and he obviously told Rusty to save it for the end. But right now they got to get concerned with Jeff Bodine, who just moved around him.
And with Mark Martin, Chris, who pulls up on the outside. And here comes the field. An avalanche coming down on turn number 4, trying to overwhelm Rusty Wallace as they come back to the line.
Ken, now we're beginning to see shades of that first race that was so thrilling, side-by-side racing. They stacked them up, and now they're all in a 2 and 3 abreast again.
Here's Michael Waltrip, the yellow car, down on the bottom, trying to find any kind of running room there.
Yeah, he wants to get up there behind Davey Allison. That's what he wants to do, but he has a car between he and Davey Allison. That's Harry Gant in between them.
There you see the number 28, Davey Allison, into the back straightaway, holding right on behind Ernie Irvin.
Boy, that draft is so critical down that back straightaway. One line moves, other line moves.
To the inside, number 4, Ernie Irvin breaks it up. The Morgan McClure car stuck it on the bottom, dove it down deep into 3, and he's up another spot.
That's GM's strongest gun right there. That's the fastest GM product at Daytona. He's got 2 strong Fords in front of him.
Davey Allison gets around Rusty Wallace on the bottom of the racetrack, and now let's see if he can clamber him through this race. Both Bodine brothers have led today. That's a Busch Clash first. Now Davey Allison getting overwhelmed as on the outside, Michael Waltrip. Here comes Sterling Marlin making a move. Got caught outside the draft.
Got caught outside the draft, and they just drive around on the inside. And Neil, I believe the best place to be if you get somebody to go with you is up on the outside.
Seems like the cars are free up there, Ned, like you say, and they can make a lot better run off the corner.
Kowicki making a run to the bottom, car number 7. Down low, Kowicki pulls up one, he goes to 4th.
Boy, the only passing we can really see at times is when that big pack gets together. We got to get them bunched back up again and let them make some moves here.
Taking a look here at Alan Kowicki. Let's go to Mike Joe.
Allen made the biggest change of any driver during the halftime break, Ken. They added a 1-inch spring spacer underneath the right front spring. That car was a little loose. And you were inquiring about Bill Elliott. He just asked for and received a little bit of wedge. Otherwise, his car same as it was.
So Elliott's car, which had backed up a tad, trying to make a run here to get back up with those leaders. 4 different leaders. That ties the 1980 record. Here we are coming to turn 3, and down to the inside, here comes Sterling Marlin.
Boy, his car is fast. 4 laps to go when they come back to the line, fellas.
Ned, in that one move, he just passed 4 cars down the back straightaway. He was in the rear. He made a good move there.
But now he has himself caught down there. Terry Labonte is behind him. That might help him a little bit. But
hung out to dry.
Yep.
Same thing that happened to Davey Allison a few moments ago.
Boy, that's a helpless feeling to make a move that you're supposed to do in a race car, be aggressive, and have to pay the price for going backwards.
Jeff Bodine stays in front. Mark Martin is right there in second. You're riding with Ernie Irvin in third. Live coverage of the Busch Clash next Sunday, the Daytona 500, 34th annual, the Great American Race, here on CBS. A comment from Darrell Waltrip and Mike Joy.
Darrell, you're the all-time lap leader in this event, 50 laps. Would you want to be out in front right now?
I really would. I'd like to be there than where I am right now, I tell you that. But I want to give a call to my brother. He's doing a heck of a job.
Would you want to be in the lead for these last few laps?
Oh, yeah. It's these cars with the restrictor plates, unless you're driving a car like Sterling Marlin's, his car is extremely fast down the back. But for the most part, you don't have the punch. You just don't have the get up and go to pull out and pass. If the guy in the front just is a little bit elusive on the last lap, he ought to be able to hold them off.
Well, there are two drivers in the field that have more experience at Busch Clash racing than any others, and they're Bill Elliott and Jeff Bodine. Jeff Bodine has never won this race. He has come awfully close a number of times, but he's out front right now. Can he hang on?
There's the black number 66 of Chad Little. He's moved very quietly up into 6th spot. Nice run by the Spokane, Washington racer. Back there in 6th, and he's fighting with Sterling Marlin. Here he is in the bottom, up on the outside of him. Here comes Sterling Marlin trying to ramble up through, and with him comes Davey Allison. His time is running out. It's still Jeff Bodine in first, Mark Martin in second, Ernie Irvin is in third, Kulwicki running in fourth.
Just 2 laps to go here, Ken. Something's going to have to happen. It looks like Ernie Irvin's laying back and seeing if he can make a run on those guys. I don't know if he's able to do that.
I think that Mark Martin is sitting on it right now. I think he's just waiting his time. Now look at these cars bob and weave at over 190 miles per hour. Davey Allison right down in the very bottom. That looked like Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison at the end of the 1979 race, right down just about in the grass.
But he's not going to have enough time to get to the front. The white flag is waiting.
1 lap to go. This is it for the 14th annual Clash. Jeff Bodine in front, driving for the first time in the Bud Moore colors. Here comes Mark Martin just easing along into turns 1 and 2. Martin in that 2nd spot, and here comes Davey Allison down low, under Kulwicki. Davey Allison, car number 28, pulling up on Ernie Irvin.
Well, I said he wouldn't have enough time. I still don't think he has. There are 3 cars, very fast cars, in front of him. It's coming up on Ernie Irvin. Now Irvin makes the move.
Ernie Irvin to the inside. Knocks down Mark Martin, sets him back. And he comes after. Number 15, Ernie Irvin, wide open as he comes up. It's a Ford Chevrolet battle to the finish here in the Busch Clash. At the line, looking for some place to run, out of room. Give it to Jeff Bodine. Car number 15. The Bud Moore Racing Team scores a victory here in the Busch Clash, and Ernie Irvin makes it dramatic with a last lap maneuver around Mark Martin. And if he'd had just, oh, but that's the story of racing. If he had just, and named the time, named the laps.
Again, this 15 car is one we saw repeatedly come back on pit road and not hesitate to make big chassis changes, and it paid off here at the end.
Jeff Bodine has won at the Busch Clash, the start of Speed Weeks here at Daytona, and done it in dramatic fashion over Ernie Irvin.
He's back. This time we get him. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
In weather this raw, don't take chances with chapped lips. Take Chapstick. Chapstick lip balm is serious medicine, made to help chapped lips heal fast and healthy lips stay healthy. This winter, don't take chances. Take Chapstick.
It's a unique and strange sight here at Daytona as we end this Busch Clash. This wonderful crowd out on a Saturday, and all the cars are being checked right now. Here you see Gary Nelson, without the hat on, checking that rear spoiler.
That's been the new thing in NASCAR. He's personally going to inspect these cars. There he is in the white striped shirt. He's the guy laying the protractor on. He wants to take charge of this thing, make sure these cars are straight up. And he's been doing a heck of a job with that, Ned.
Yes, he has. The winner, Jeff Bodine's car, was the first one to be checked. He is headed to victory lane now, but all the other cars, before they were allowed to even come, they didn't even get on pit road hardly before they had it set up that they come in for that check.
The guy who was 4th 5 times in this race in his 10th start has just collected $39,000 in winning this 1992 Busch Clash. 10th start, finally brings it home. Jeff Bodine out of Chemung, New York, the 1986 Daytona 500 champion. headed for victory lane. We'll greet him there in just a moment as this inspection continues, and that gives you an idea of just how stringent they're being this year for the Daytona 500 and the other events like the 125-mile qualifiers, which you'll see next Saturday here on CBS. Now here's Jeff Bodine pulling in. And Mike Joy is standing by with the winner.
Hallowed ground. Jeff Bodine, you won the Busch Clash.
Yeah, was that unreal or what? That was awesome. That was tough. The little slamming and banging out there, but hey, what a race. That was great.
For anybody to get to the front today, that was a task.
Well, we knew it. We weren't handling good in that first 10 laps. The boys made an adjustment to change tires twice. We had a set vibrating when we went out first and made a spoiler adjustment, knocked it up a little bit, and it was just enough so I could run wide open ahead of Mark and the rest of the fellas.
If the car will run like this all next Sunday, could win the Daytona 500.
This car, we're running another car. The other car we got for the 500 is a better car than this one. This is a good car, but we got a better one for the 500. So all you Motorcraft Eagle Ford fans, watch out Sunday. We're going to be tough.
Here's Chris Economaki for some final thoughts.
Well, the opening big race of the 1992 season is history. It's been a great race. Jeff Bodine pulled in the victory lane with a car that didn't have a scratch on it. A quality to the ability of these drivers and to the competition. We have the makes from Ford and General Motors setting the stage for a great season and a great 500 next Sunday, Ken.
The second time, Chris, that a Ford has found itself in victory lane in the Busch Clash. The other time back in 1987. So let's take a look at the final results on this 14th annual Go. Jeff Bodine puts his name in the record book after starting third in that second segment. Ernie Irvin brings that Chevy to second. Mark Martin had to settle for third. Davey Allison fourth. Alan Kowicki a strong fifth. Looking further back on the field, Sterling Marlin got himself a sixth position. Bill Elliott seventh.
Michael Waltrip eighth. Ricky Rudd in ninth place, and Chad Little finished 10th in his first ever Busch Clash.
And the rest of the field as they came across, Brett Bodine was there in 11th and Kyle Petty in 12th.
Terry Labonte in 13th place, Rusty Wallace in 14th, and Harry Gant in 15th. Unusual place for him.
Yeah, after last September for sure. So basketball is coming up this afternoon. It's going to be Duke. Was number one. They're up against LSU. They could still be number one after this afternoon's game. That's the point of conjecture in that activity, which you'll see here on CBS. But we've had a dandy finish with Bodine, Jeff Bodine, finally winning this event after trying 9 previous times and coming close on one occasion to second place, and all those finishes in 4th and 5th spot. Well, today he finally brought it home, and what a great day for Donnie Wingo and for Bud Moore as well. A thought from Neil Bonnet.
I'll tell you, I know Bodine is happy about winning the race, but I think the Chevrolet contingent is say they have a chance now. Before this race started, everybody said Chevrolet's out in left field. The second place finish really pumps the rest of the guys up. It's going to be up in the air.
Yeah, all during the winter test here, the Fords were dominant as far as the speed was concerned. But yes, the General Motors cars were competitive. So I think when we put them all together next Sunday in the Daytona 500, it's going to be something to see.
How do you think Gary Nelson's working out down here?
Well, I tell you what, Gary's in charge of all the inspection now for NASCAR, and he said he's going to pop the whip and straighten them out. There's enough spare pieces over to build 5 or 6 race cars that he's confiscated, but it looks like it's going to be straight up, and I think that's where everybody wants to race.
Robert Yates had one of the great quotes earlier. He said to Bill Francis, I think you've taken care of about 80% of the cheating in NASCAR. And Bill said, how? And he said, well, you've hired him. And he was speaking about Gary Nelson. Nelson certainly knows all the tricks, doesn't he?
Well, he knows all the tricks, no question about it, and that's the kind of person you need in there. He's right up to date on the latest technology, and he's going to be good for the sport. Everybody feels that way.
So for the entire CBS announce crew, I'm Ken Squire saying so long from the Daytona International Speedway. Coming up next, it's NCAA basketball with #1 Duke taking on LSU. Then join us later today for the 16th Winter Olympic Games from Albertville, France, commencing at 4 p.m.
They come from China, from Thailand, from England, Germany, France, and Australia. Every 4 years, the Olympic Games bring people together, just as we do, every day. United. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Next, #1 ranked Duke battles Shaquille O'Neal and LSU. Tomorrow, Iowa faces the power of Indiana. This weekend on CBS. This is CBS.
Today's game is sponsored locally in part by Lexus Automobiles and by the American Express Corporate Card.
The white racist revolution.
They all got their guns, and they are ready to go to war.
The next Montel Williams Show.
Monday morning at 9.
Something extraordinary is going on. Wall Street is moving. It's moving crosstown. It's moving uptown. It's even moving out of town. Because Wall Street is moving to Citibank. When you invest at Citibank, expert investment consultants will help you choose what's right for you. From over 600 mutual funds, stocks, bonds, and money market funds. Because Wall Street is moving to Citibank.
Marilyn Monroe's Love Child, a bedroom night with Elvis all week in Cindy Adams' Hollywood Confidential on hard copy.
Monday at 7.
Kick the smoking habit. Monday at 4 and 11 on Channel 2 News.
Capacity crowd of over 14,000 will pack the Pete Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge today as the LSU Tigers host the nation's top-ranked college basketball team, the Duke Blue Devils. It's been a tough week for the AP Top 5. Duke was upset by North Carolina. Oklahoma State was beaten by Nebraska. And fifth-ranked Arkansas was knocked off by Tennessee. LSU coach Dale Brown has given this building the nickname the Deaf Dome because he said it's so deafening during timeouts he can't hear himself think. And today they put in a special Deaf Dome noise meter to measure the noise. Hello everybody, I'm Mel Proctor, and not only do we have a matchup of two outstanding college basketball teams, but this game will feature a duel between two of the game's best big men, Christian Laettner of Duke and Shaquille O'Neal of LSU.
On any given day, any given team can lose, and we're just going to try to win. But if we don't win, it's not like it's going to be the end of our season. We're just going to go out and play hard. Hopefully we can get a big win.
With Shaq, anyone who plays against him, they're going to want to do well because everyone regards him as the best player, and that's fine. He deserves that, and that's the only way I'm looking at the game is another chance for me to do well.
Last year, Christian Laettner outplayed Shaq O'Neal in Duke's 88-70 victory over LSU. And Billy Packer, did we see something last year that will be in evidence again today?
Well, it very well could be, Mel. And the fact that if LSU goes man-to-man, and they are ever matched up against each other, we will see a play similar to what happened last year, which really broke Shaquille O'Neal's spirits. Here you have Grant Hill, and that's kind of interesting. Grant Hill at the point. Christian Laettner coming across to set a solid screen. Look at how far away Shaquille O'Neal is in terms of distance on Christian Laettner. What happens here is Grant Hill takes the ball to the basket, distributes back out to Christian Laettner. And this creates a problem for O'Neal because he has to run out at Laettner. When he does, he sees the pump fake. Laettner goes right on by. It's something that will be tough on the big man today if he has to match up that way.
Billy, you mentioned Grant Hill will be playing the point guard spot. Normally he's a forward. He'll be at the point today because Bobby Hurley suffered a broken bone in his foot against North Carolina.
I think that's good news and bad news for Duke. The good news, and there you see Bobby Hurley right there with that cast on. The good news is the fact that Mike Krzyzewski, who is planning his team and getting them ready for the national championship, not this game, will get an opportunity to see quality minutes out of Grant Hill at the point, as well as Cherokee Parks and Antonio Lang off the bench.
All right, Billy, Duke and LSU are getting ready here in Baton Rouge. We'll be back with the lineups and the tip in just a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. McDonald's, where what you want is what you get. And by Budweiser, the beer where the taste is genuine as the people who drink it. Nothing beats a Bud.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's.
What do you want with your fries?
The one-of-a-kind taste of McDonald's Big Mac or the Big Beefy Quarter Pounder with cheese. Either way, in the McDonald's Extra Value Meal, you always get an order of world-famous fries and a Coke Classic. But you gotta pick the burger.
Dominic, the lane was yours.
How'd you get inside? Hey, what can I say?
Dominic, what do you want with your fries?
Hey, now there's a question.
What you want is what you get.
The Extra Value Meal.
At McDonald's today.
What do you want with your fries?
3M salutes the Olympic athletes who found a better way. Whose ideas were so original, there's no going back. That same innovative thinking led us to invent Scotchgard Brand Protector, and things have looked newer longer ever since. 3M, innovation working for you.
There are 3,100 student tickets that are available here at LSU on a first-come, first-served basis, and the kids have been waiting out since last weekend when LSU beat Kentucky. They've been here all week waiting for these tickets and waiting for Duke, and this was the scene this morning. They opened the gates about 10. They flooded in here, 3,100 students at a capacity crowd. And now for today's introductions, let's go to the public address announcer, Dan Bournet.
Jackson. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dan Bournet. On behalf of Louisiana State University and the LSU Athletic Department, welcome to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center for this afternoon's NCAA basketball game between the Duke Blue Devils and the LSU Fighting Tigers. And now, here is the starting lineup for Duke. At one guard, a 6'8 sophomore from Weston, Virginia, number 33, Grant Hill. At the other guard, a 6'5 junior from Lancaster, Texas, number 12, Thomas Hill. At forward, a 6'7 senior from Capitol Heights, Maryland, number 23, Brian Davis. At forward, a 6'8 sophomore from Mobile, Alabama, number 21, Antonio Lang. And at center, a 6'11 senior from Angola, New York, number 32, Christian Leitner. And the coach of Duke in his 12th season, Mike Krzyzewski. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the starting lineup for the defending champions of the Southeastern Conference, your Fighting Tigers of LSU. At one guard, a 6-foot senior from Baton Rouge, number 20, TJ Pugh. At the other guard, a 6'5 senior from Valley City, North Dakota, number 5, Justin Anderson. At forward, a 6'7 freshman from Iowa in Louisiana, number 22, Clarence Caesar. At the other forward, a 6'7 senior from Natchez, Mississippi, number 24, Burnell Singleton. And at center, a 7'1 junior from San Antonio, Texas, number 33, Shaquille O'Neal. And the coach of the Fighting Tigers in his 20th year, Dale Brown.
LSU and Duke. LSU 14-4, leading the SEC with a 7-1 mark. Duke now 17-1, but still number 1 in the country. Bobby Hurley is out. Grant Hill moves to the point. Bobby Hurley is with the team. Yesterday we visited with him, and he talked about what he hopes to think about and accomplish today as he watches courtside.
I think our team's going to grow from this, and personally, I think I'm going to have a chance to look at our team in a way that I haven't been able to in my career. I'll just get a chance to see some things maybe that once I get back I'll be able to improve on, and I think once I'm back I'll be hungry to get out there and play, and we'll be in good shape.
Bobby Hurley, who had started 95 consecutive games, Grant Hill takes over for him. Grant was a point guard in high school at South Lakes High in Reston, Virginia, and has played some at the point this year.
Well, you know, I really don't think that that's going to be a problem at all, particularly on the offensive end of the floor. And as you'll notice today, Grant Hill's going to be matched up in the backcourt against fellas that are basically 6 foot in range. So he ought to be able to play over them a little bit on the offensive end.
And the officials today, a mixed crew from the Southeast Conference and the ACC. Frank Scagliotta, Duke Edsel, and Larry Lembo. Mike Krzyzewski said with Hill at the point rather than Hurley,
we won't be able to push the ball up the floor as quickly, nor defensively will we be able to put pressure on the opposing point guard. Another element's missing, the fact that Hurley is the best three-point shooter on the team, and Grant Hill hasn't even attempted a three this year.
Exactly, Mel. The other thing, you know, you're talking about 136 assists and 58 turnovers. We're talking about great relationship there that Hurley had when he had the ball in his hands.
See that Burnell Singleton jump center rather than Shaq O'Neal. Kind of interesting.
Now looking to go ahead and just get the ball to Shaq O'Neal on the tip. Backdoor cut by LSU.
Tigers turn it over on their first possession. This is Grant Hill, a sophomore.